Chapter 38. The next morning, the 9 contestants were invited to the Institute's main auditorium. 5 stools with seat backs were lined up in front of a deep blue velvet curtain. A familiar slogan scrolled across the top of the stage's arch. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. But one of us has to lead that group, mumbled Annika, sounding nervous. Indeed, said Tisa. We have to be the change we wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi said that, said Toma and Hannah, both trying to say it first, both trying to prove that they were the smartest kid in the class. The 9 contestants were seated in the front row of the sea of seats. Max realized that the 8 other finalists had always been considered the best and the brightest. She wondered if any of them had ever failed at anything before. Probably not. And yet, today, 8 of them would. Okay, maybe just 7. Max had already accepted that she had been quickly eliminated from the competition. Those who scored incompletes on their final exams were seldom promoted to head of the class. You guys are all amazing, Max told the group. It was an honor to even meet you. And Klaus? Yeah? I hope you build that sausage-making robot one day. Thanks. Sorry about the bit with the mop wig. No worries. I thought it was fantastic. I think you guys are all fantastic. Do you think your pal Dr. Einstein would agree? Asked Keto, whose nerves had dampened his usual swagger. Definitely. He knew kids had all the answers. You're going to quote him again, aren't you? Laughed Klaus. Totally. Do not grow old, no matter how long you live. Never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born. Well, said Siobhan, gesturing toward the stage, it looks like this morning's great mystery is about to be resolved. The 5 judges marched onto the stage and took their seats on the stools. Do you think all the clothes in their closets are black? Whispered Annika. Probably, Max whispered back. They're judges, said Tisa. It's a law. Carl, Isabel, Mrs. Kaplan entered the auditorium and found seats in the second row, right behind the 9 kids. Good luck, you guys, said Isabel. Thanks, was the unanimous whispered reply. The lead judge, sitting in the center of the panel, cleared his throat. Max knew it was time for the verdict to be delivered. Annika reached over and took Max's right hand. Tisa took her left. Max squeezed back slightly. In a chain reaction that would have made Dr. Einstein proud, all 9 contestants were soon clutching one another's hands. In a few short days, the strangers had somehow become a family. We have made our recommendation to the benefactor, said the lead judge. Although our verdict was not unanimous, grumbled the sour-faced judge, who looked even angrier than he had the night before. The lead judge took over again. The benefactor has advised us that they will be taking several, shall we say, variables and extenuating circumstances into account before arriving at their final selection. None of you should feel that you are somehow less than the first finisher. On the contrary, just being here means you are special. You're all winners. And on they went. Max knew they were trying to be kind, to soften the blow, but their well-intentioned preamble was excruciating. Sooner or later, they'd have to just come out and name the winner, or first finisher if winner wasn't a gentle enough word for this panel to use. Cut to the chase, dude, murmured Keto. Totally, echoed Vihan. Finally, the judge in the center stood. He pulled a sealed envelope out of his suit coat's interior pocket. The Change Makers Institute, in accordance with our benefactor's wishes, is pleased to announce our first finisher. He sliced open the envelope with his index finger. It seemed to take an hour for him to complete the task. Another prime example of the theory of relativity at work in everyday life. The judge read what was on the paper, grinned, and looked straight at Max. "Congratulations, Max," he said. "You are the chosen one." Well, that's a surprise.